Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. After that issue, Mauricio Umanski needs to let Kyle Richards go. On this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it's clear that Kyle Richards has been deeply impacted by her separation from her husband, Mauricio Umanski. Since her separation was announced, Kyle has instituted massive changes to her lifestyle, and she seems to have changed a lot herself. On season 14 of Beverly Hills, as the definitive end of her 27-year marriage to Mauricio draws nearer and more likely, Kyle appears adrift and anguished. It seems that Kyle continues to cling to the hope that her husband might someday decide that he's ready to reconcile. Meanwhile, Mauricio looks to be checked out and moving on. I don't think he is eager to reunite with his wife, and I doubt that Kyle will be the one to take the next step in ending their marriage. So it seems they're at a stalemate as to the future of their relationship. He needs to let her go so she can move on too. For years in her marriage to Mauricio, Kyle had a clear idea of what her life would look like, and she settled in comfortably. Kyle and Mao have been a couple for nearly 3 decades, raised 4 daughters together, and have historically been one of the healthiest marriages in the whole Housewives franchise. Whispers of Mauricio cheating have popped up here and there, but, as far as we've seen, they have never knocked their relationship off balance. It seemed Kyle had a tight-knit, loving family, and her future was all figured out. Kyle grew up in a family notorious for its internal conflict and melodrama. Her youth was marked by child stardom, divorce, and dysfunction of all sorts. I would imagine that as a result of this turbulent early home life, as well as never-ending on-again off-again feuds with her sisters Kathy and Kim, having a stable, unified family of her own is of the utmost importance to Kyle. So the decision to separate from her husband has noticeably taken a significant toll and forced her to closely examine unanswered questions about who she is and what her life will look like moving forward. Nowhere is this loss of stability more pronounced than in Kyle's confusing relationship with country singer Morgan Wade. The two first crossed paths in 2022 when Kyle heard one of her songs on the radio, quickly developed a fascination with Morgan, and slid into her DMs. They became fast friends, ultimately inspiring rumors that their relationship was more than platonic, with Kyle even starring as Morgan's love interest in one of her music videos. Kyle's uncertainty about her identity is evident in her relationship with Morgan. The singer is covered in tattoos, and as soon as they became close, Kyle started her own collection of tiny trinket tattoos, a point of contention with her husband at the start of their separation. It feels like Kyle is unsure of who she is as an individual, largely defining herself through her closest relationships. As soon as her marriage began to crumble, she latched onto someone new, plainly illustrating her fears of being alone. The rumors surrounding their relationship have been hard on both women, as the whole ordeal has made Morgan a subject of the rabid world of Real Housewives discourse, and has opened Kyle up to unending scrutiny regarding her sexual orientation. Though she doesn't share much about it on the show these days, she has intimated that, like viewers, she is struggling to understand her sexuality herself. Kyle and Morgan quietly remain attached at the hip, with Kyle currently tagging along as Morgan tours Europe. Regardless of how her relationship unfolds, Kyle has a lot to sort out. The separation seems to be going differently for Mauricio. He moved out of their shared home in Encino and into a posh condo in a celebrity-riddled building in West Hollywood. He's been traveling often, partying plenty, and on more than one occasion, he's been caught by the paparazzi cozying up to a much younger woman. And like many misguided men on reality television before him, he has pulled my favorite page from the D-list celebrity playbook. Mao bought himself a fresh set of glow-in-the-dark, cinder-block-sized veneers. His dental work playfully gestures at the idea of human teeth if you put on a pair of sunglasses and squint your eyes, as though his mouth is an eclipsing sun. It looks like Mauricio is thoroughly enjoying having one foot in his past as a family man with a devoted wife, and one in his new life as a bachelor, in which he gallivants around teeth first, shot-taking and shirtless, unburdened by obligation to anyone. It feels like Mauricio might be taking advantage of Kyle's difficulty accepting the end of their marriage. He appears to be perfectly content living in this limbo, in which he gets the best of both worlds while Kyle gets the worst of them. So it's no surprise he's not hurrying to file for divorce. I worry that until he puts a certain end to their relationship, Kyle will continue postponing the work of gaining true independence and sorting out her sexuality. Everyone's like, "Are you getting divorced? Are you getting divorced?" I mean, everybody asks me that. I think I'm anxious. I'm getting impatient. I'm impatient because I want to know what my life is going to be. I think it's different for men. I mean, he's just going and living his best life. It seems like she's struggling to accept that this chapter of their lives is coming to a close, and filing for divorce would cement that reality. Mao sits in the driver's seat when it comes to the couple's separation and divorce, and Kyle is simply following his lead. Though Kyle hasn't been sharing much with viewers, the subtext of her relationships is glaring. Watching her interact with Mao on camera this season has been painful. I get the sense that he almost pities Kyle. It's time for Mao to shoot straight and let Kyle go. She'll keep hanging on as long as he lets her. I don't think Mao has any intention of rekindling their longtime love, so the sooner he ends it, the sooner Kyle can figure out what she wants, and fingers crossed, she'll find herself riding off into the sunset with Morgan. In a world where reality TV often blurs the lines between fiction and real life, few couples have been more synonymous with the spotlight than Mauricio Umanski and Kyle Richards. Their relationship, celebrated on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, has played out in front of millions, showcasing the highs and lows of their marriage. Yet after that issue, an incident that can't just be swept under the rug anymore, it's time for Mauricio to make a decision: let Kyle go. But why now? What has changed? To understand why Mauricio needs to let go, one must look beyond the surface, delve into the heart of the issue that has sparked this conversation, and consider the deeper dynamics at play. The issue isn't just one isolated incident, but rather a culmination of events, misunderstandings, and perhaps, most importantly, growing discontent between the two. The latest season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills had already provided a stark view of the couple's struggles. Behind the glamorous dinners, million-dollar homes, and high-profile parties, there were subtle signs of friction. Mauricio, a successful real estate mogul, has always been portrayed as the supportive husband, the man who stood by his wife through thick and thin. But recent allegations of infidelity and rumors of an affair have brought things to a boiling point. It's not that Mauricio's mistakes are unheard of. Cheating scandals are a frequent narrative in the world of Hollywood marriages. But it's how this issue has unfolded that makes it particularly difficult for Mauricio to justify his actions and expect forgiveness in return. The public nature of their lives, as portrayed on the reality show, means everything is amplified. When Kyle was confronted with rumors of Mauricio's infidelity, her reaction was one of disbelief, hurt, and confusion. However, as the issue continued to play out on national television, Kyle's strength and her desire for answers were put on full display. What's particularly jarring about this issue is how it's reshaped the dynamic between the couple. Mauricio's defense of his actions seemed rehearsed, and his attempts to convince Kyle and the world that he was innocent felt hollow. Trust, once a bedrock of their relationship, began to crumble, and the cracks became visible to everyone. It wasn't just about the affair anymore. It was about the deeper betrayal of trust and communication. The weight of public scrutiny. In an age where every moment of a celebrity's life is dissected by the public, the weight of this scrutiny cannot be overstated. For years, Kyle Richards has been a household name. not only because of her fame as a reality TV star, but also due to her role as a loving wife and mother. However, as the rumors of her marriage's unraveling spread, Kyle's once solid image as the doting wife began to shift. The issue at hand is no longer just about Mauricio's potential infidelity, it's about Kyle's own journey. She's been caught in the middle of a narrative that doesn't seem to have a clear resolution. The public watching her navigate her marriage has witnessed her struggle between wanting to protect her family and grappling with the reality of what's been exposed. Kyle's vulnerability is now front and center, and it's clear that no amount of fame or fortune can shield her from the pain of betrayal.